everyone, it's Marisa from Bumblebee Apothecary, and today I'd like to show you how to make fermented cranberries or fermented cranberry sauce. This is a great way to take a favorite side dish or topping that we oftentimes enjoy on Thanksgiving or around the holidays and have it made in a more traditional, healthy way that's full of probiotic goodness. So let's jump right into the recipe and get started. Just like whenever you're fermenting, it's best to be using organic produce whenever possible. So that's what I always try to do. The recipe that I'm going to be doing today is based off of Dr. Becky Plotner's cookbook, GAPS Stage by Stage with Recipes. I highly recommend this if you're thinking about or following the GAPS diet. It's full of amazing information, answers so many questions, and has a lot of great recipes. So the first thing that we need to do is to kind of grind up the cranberries just a little bit. So I'm going to put them into my food processor. There are other ways that you can do this too, like piercing them with a fork or mashing them with a potato masher or something like that. But this is the easiest. So I'm just gonna whiz them up a little bit. You could also chop them with a knife too, if you don't have a food processor. So next I'm going to get the rest of my ingredients ready. I'm going to cut some oranges. Now we're going to be using the peels from these oranges, as well as the inside part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to cut the skin off as best I can. And we'll be using the skin too. Something like that. We don't want a bunch of the white pith, so try to get rid of that. And then I'm just going to chunk up the inside part of the orange. I'm watching for any seeds. I don't want seeds. And just add those pieces to my food processor. I'm also going to use some of these pieces of orange peel too, from just two of the oranges. So I'm going to just kind of cut them into some strips and add those to the food processor as well. We don't want a bunch of the white pith in there again, so if there's a lot of it, you can cut some of that out. So I'm just going to do the same thing with my next orange. And then with the third orange, we're going to use just the fruit inside, no peel. Okay, and then I've taken the cranberries out of my food processor and put them in a large bowl, and then I'm just adding my orange pieces to my food processor as I go, so that I can whiz those up. So then with this third orange, we're using just the inside part. We don't need the peel this time. And then for the lemons, we're going to, again, check to make sure that there's no seeds. And then we're going to remove the rinds, and we don't need to use the peels from the lemons. So we'll just set those aside and then set the inside fruit part into the food processor. Love that zesty lemon smell. Before I add any of these pieces to my food processor, just check for seeds, remove them if necessary. And then once we have those in there, I'm just going to pulse a bit to get them kind of chunked up smaller. That looks really good. So then I'm just going to add that to my bowl of cranberries. Oh, this already smells so good. And now I just need to add the rest of my ingredients. So I'm going to add half of a cup of raw, unfiltered, local honey. You might know that I do not like measuring honey, and I usually tend to just eyeball it, but for fermenting, I try to be a little bit more precise, so I did go ahead and measure. Next, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I always tend to be a little on the generous side when I'm measuring cinnamon. And then 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. Last of all, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of a nice high quality mineral salt. I like Celtic sea salt or Baja Gold. Baja Gold is what I'm using today. And then we're just going to mix this all together really well. Once it's mixed together well, it's a really good idea to go ahead and let it sit for 20 minutes to let that salt start drawing more of the moisture out of all the ingredients and get that liquid going. After it's been sitting for 20 minutes, it's time to go ahead and put it into jars. You could do pint or quart size mason jars. Either one will work. I probably wouldn't do anything much bigger than that. And as you fill the jars, you just want to press it down so that the liquid starts to come up and cover the top. And right up to the shoulder of the jar where it just starts to curve is a really good height to fill the jar. If you don't have enough liquid rising up to cover everything, then you can add a little bit of filtered water. Next, we're just gonna put on a lid. Again, my favorite fermentation lid is just the plain old canning ring and flat metal top. I have a video all about fermentation lids that I'll link below in case you wanna check out some different styles. They all are great for different purposes, but this is the one I tend to go to. We're just gonna put that on and just tighten it, just finger tight, not super tight. This is a little different than some of my other ones where I say tighten it a lot and watch for that click. This is gonna go more by time. So then you're gonna let this sit on your countertop for 7 to 12 days. You might need to put a towel underneath in case some bubbles out. And once it's done fermenting, you're gonna move it to the refrigerator and keep it in there, and it's ready to enjoy. It's such a delicious ferment to have with different cuts of meat. Pork and turkey are really good, but it really goes with chicken and beef and whatever else you want to. I have lots of other fermentation videos. I'll link them below so you can check them out. I'll have links below to the printable recipe card if you want to grab that, as well as one of my favorite places to buy organic groceries. Also check out that description box for free ebooks and other goodies. Okay, I hope that you really liked seeing how to make your own fermented cranberries or fermented cranberry sauce. I hope that you give it a try and enjoy it this holiday season. If you did like seeing this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else you think wants to see how to make their own fermented cranberries. Here on my channel, I show you how to make nourishing recipes for nutrient-dense food, natural remedies, and DIY skincare and home products. So if those are something that you're interested in and you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out 2 videos every week. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.